Hello, guys! So, as you can see from the title already, this is a May book haul. These are all of the books that I got in the month of May, plus one digital manga that I can't show you. So, yeah, these are 20 books, which isn't too much for me personally. I usually get much more books in one single month. So, let's just get right into it. Let's just start with the manga, shall we? So, this is it. It's the first volume in the Starving Anonymous series. I don't know how many volumes there will be or if it's finished or not. I just saw someone reading it on a Discord channel and comparing it to Saw, the movies. So I thought, okay, I'll try it, let me see. So I got a digital copy, read the whole volume in one sitting. Yeah, it has some similarities to Saw, but it's still very much an original story. It also has some similarities to some extreme horror that I've read already. So if you're into that shit, maybe pick this up and try it out, because I've never seen it anywhere else, so that was a very good recommendation. It's about survival, it's about shocking, disgusting stuff, and it's very fast-paced, very weird. I don't know if you could say it's quirky, but there's some humor in it even. And yeah, it's interesting, and it's not just your typical survival stuff. There's also some supernatural monster appearance in there. So yeah, I thought it was a very interesting combination. I'm hoping for some more plot in the other books, but yeah, this feels like a wrap up now, so I'm going to move on. Let's get into these physical books now. So that's the first book. It's called The Monk by Matthew G. Lewis, I believe. And this is a German copy. It's a classic. It came out in, oh my god, I think the 1800s. I hope I'm not mistaken. And this reminded me of a video game, actually. The video game is called Immortality by Sam Barlow. It's a interactive game from the maker of Her Story, maybe you know that one. And it was about different things, but one of the elements was about this monk in a monastery, obviously, who is striking a deal with the devil, and this book is so similar to it. So I hope it's just as interesting, maybe even more horrific, because it is a horror book. And yeah, main character is called Ambrosio, I believe, so it's the same name as in the video game. I don't know if the video game is based on the book. Could be, not sure. I will find out when I read it. So I heard great things about the book. It is a very beautiful copy. Has some black sprayed edges, for example, as well as a beautiful naked hardback all the way around. And there's also the occasional illustration in there as well. Next up is the final book in the Seven Sisters series by Lucinda Riley. This is about Passold, the father from the sisters. I don't know which book it is, the 8th probably. And yeah, I'm excited to see what this book will be about, because all of the others were about the sisters. So yeah, not sure if the structure will be the same in this one. I've only read the first 2 books in the series, so I have a long way to go, but I'm excited to have the whole series now to read it eventually. So the whole series follows one sister in each book, and they were adopted by this Parsold, and he mysteriously disappeared, perhaps died, but I don't think he is dead. And they get clues about their real family, and they can travel there, find out about parents, grandparents, whatever, some people that they are related to. And these books are always told from 2 perspectives, the past and the present, and I'm always here for the past perspectives because they're really interesting. They take place in all kinds of different settings, different times, so that's a very nice historical fiction element that I enjoy. Next up is Exhalation by Ted Chiang. This is a short story collection, and it's either the first or the second book in this short story duology thing, but the stories are not connected, I believe. I don't know why they are even a duology or series, whatever, but I think they are marketed as series. So this is the other book that I have. It's a German book, so yeah, they don't match, but who cares. And Exhalation has just some more sci-fi horror short stories in there. I haven't read anything by Ted Chiang, but I think the stories will be just up my alley, so yeah, I'm excited to read those. I love short stories, love sci-fi, love horror, so that's perfect. And Exhalation also has the short story that was the basis for the movie adaptation of Arrival, which was a very interesting movie, and I only got interested in Ted Chiang's books after watching the movie because I didn't know that it was based on anything. So yeah, excited to read this short story and find out what it is about and how they were able to pull a whole movie out of it. So yeah, this edition also has deckled edges, which some people love, some people hate. I actually love them. I'm always happy to receive a book that has deckled edges, so yeah, I'm happy to have this copy. I just read the inside flap of the book, and I think this is not the short story collection that has Arrival in it, but the German edition I showed you has. So these are just wholly original stories. There are 9 novellas or short stories in there. So yeah, sorry for that mistake, but now you know. Then I also got the second book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. I haven't read the series, and I do not own the first book, but now I own the second. I just love these covers from the new paperback editions, although I believe they are created by artificial intelligence, so it's not really something that I want to actively support, but it happened, whatever. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I've heard great things in terms of otters and a merman who are in these books, which I didn't know before, but that just keeps me very much excited about it. I love mermen, and cute otters are great too. Never read about them, so could be interesting. And yeah, that's that. Can't really tell you anything about these books. I have no idea what they are about, except for mermen and otters. And then I also got these 2 copies of TJ Klune's In the Lives of Puppets in May. So the book on the left is the Fairyloot edition, and the book on the right is the Waterstones edition. I've talked about these in my unboxing video of the Fairyloot editions, so I'm not going to talk about them in depth now. You can check out the video. And yet these are a retelling of Pinocchio with androids and found family vibes. So yeah, sound interesting, and the people in there are also traveling, so that's something that can be interesting as well. Depends on how it's done, but yeah, I love both of these copies. So I also got this book, The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cockman. Heard great things. It's somewhat of an older book now, and a start to a series, and I don't know anything about it other than it's probably fantasy, probably about library stuff, maybe even historical fiction. It looks a lot like historical fiction on the cover, and yeah, I don't know, many people read it years ago on BookTube, and I always wanted to read it, so now I got the first book, and I'll see what I think about it. And if you're curious, this is the synopsis. And then I also got a V.E. Schwab book, the first book in a Darker Shade of Magic series. I think it has a different name, but I'm not sure what it is, if it has it even. It's the first book in a series. It's also somewhat of an older book, beloved by a lot of people. I, again, don't know much about it, but there are different Londons, like probably multiverse situation in there, and they are based on different colors. I don't know if the whole thing is in the color. There are like red Londons, grey Londons, black Londons, something like that. And that's all I know, basically. I don't know anything about it. It's fantasy, I guess. It probably has a lot of action in it. I don't know, but it looks like it. And yeah, this is the collector's edition. Nothing too special about it other than the slight cover change in there to the original copy, and it also has end papers with fan art in it, but that's basically it. And I was lying again. There's more stuff to it, as you can see here. Glossary, an interview, and some more tales from the world. And if you're like me and you haven't read the book, I don't know how, because it feels like everyone has already. This is the synopsis. And yeah, I'll see what I think about it. It says on the back that it is a classic work of fantasy, so, and a must read. Yep, moving on. So this next book is a second book in a series, and it's a witchy fantasy book, probably very cozy fantasy. I hope at least that it is. I don't know, because I haven't read the first book yet. But yeah, these covers are absolutely beautiful, and I haven't really seen it anywhere. No one is talking about it, it seems. It has cats in there, maybe even a cat subplot, because on the first book there's only one cat and now there are 2. I can sense some romance there, and I'll be here for it if it is. So this is the book in all its glory. Very, very pretty indeed. And inside there are also illustrations. The next book actually comes in a slipcase. Ta-da! That is how it looks without it. So there are some flowers imprinted on there, if you can see it. I believe you can, I hope so at least. And yeah, these are short stories by Susanna Clarke, the author of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And yeah, I haven't read anything by her, but again, I love short stories, so I'm excited about those. I'm not sure what they're about, but I think they could be even connected to each other. I'm not sure, and I don't even know which genre they are. I think historical fiction and fantasy, just based on Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Again, I don't really know. I'll try to find a synopsis for you. That's actually the best I could find. So there's even stuff that is connected to Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Not sure if I have to read it first now. I'll have to research it, or maybe you even know about it. And yeah, this copy also has illustrations in there. This is not an illustration, but it's beautiful as well. Let me find one. So, for example, whenever a short story starts, you get a little illustration in there, but also just illustrations throughout the book. For example, this one. And speaking of illustrations, this is a retelling of King Midas, called King Midas and the Golden Touch, told by Charlotte Craft and illustrated by K.Y. Craft. And it's very short and doesn't bring anything new to the table in terms of just a plain retelling. I think it's the well-known story that you already know about, the myth of King Midas, but the amazing thing about it are the illustrations. So I've read it already because it's super short. You can read it in, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes. First off, this is the book all the way around. Should look the same without the dust jacket. The design is also on the necktie cover, yes. And then that is what's inside. Just to give you a short glimpse. And then the other illustrated book I got it's called The Natural History of Mermaids, I believe, in English. And it's from a series that is loosely connected, just talking about different mythology or fantasy based topics. So this one's about mermaids, but there's also one about fae, or one about the occult, witchy stuff. These are originally written for children, but you can enjoy them as an adult. It also has a very minor plot in there, which explains why this book exists and who collected all of the information and so on. So yeah, this one is about a woman disguising herself as a man to travel on a ship with a crew to just research mermaids. And yeah, the book itself is about what she discovered. Again, just to show you some of the inside illustrations, beautiful end papers, for example, gives you a good impression of the art style, and yeah, all kinds of information. Next up is this book right here, again a German edition, a start to a series as well, so called Daughter of the Dragons by Sarah K.L. Wilson. And this is supposedly a little bit like Fourth Wing, which everyone is talking about right now. And I'm also interested in that book, but I don't own it yet. It's about dragon riders and a female protagonist. It's a fantasy book. That's about it. The synopsis doesn't tell you anything about it either. Like, it doesn't tell you anything. There's not even the word dragon in it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have too high hopes, but could be enjoyable. I really don't know. So yeah, I'll see. And the next book is yet again an illustrated edition of a rather old book. It's The Princess Bride, standalone, I believe. And it's kind of a classic, and everyone seems to have read it in their childhood, but I didn't. It's not really a German classic, I think, so I didn't even know it exists before everyone talked about it when Dress of the Emerald Sea came out. So I'm currently reading Dress of the Emerald Sea without having knowledge about The Princess Bride at all. And so yeah, I just got this edition. It's illustrated, it's very pretty, and yeah, I'm excited to delve into it. But I will do so after having read Dress of the Emerald Sea, so this is going to be a very interesting comparison for me. And yeah, I'll show you some of the illustrations as well. So I'll just flip through, we'll see what we'll encounter. Based on illustration, for example. So yeah, not too many in there, but it's still better than having no illustrations at all. There's a map, and this is the introduction. Very, very long introduction, and even a second introduction. But I wanted to see some illustrations. Where are they? Was there one? Yes. So yeah, just a few illustrations in there, but they are beautiful. Okay, so the next book is The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner, who also wrote The Lost Apothecary, which is also on my TBR. And I'm excited for both of these books. They are, again, some witchy stuff, historical fiction as well. So that's all I know about it. I've seen some people talk about it, not too many though. And yeah, nothing else to say about it really. I'll show you the synopsis and then we can move on to the last stack of books. So here it is. Just pause the video if you're interested in the summary. I don't really need to know what books are about if I already own them. I like to go into books rather blind, just because I'm more surprised by everything that happens and I don't have a lot of expectations that could disappoint me. So yeah, that's why I can't tell you a lot about these books. And then the last 4 books that I got are actually part of a series, The Witcher. These are the new hardcovers that came out, and I now have collected all of them. I haven't read them ever. I don't even know which is the right order for these books right now. Maybe they even are in the right order, but I doubt it. And yeah, these are the prettiest editions out there. I didn't hear the best things about the translation, but I didn't hear great things about the German edition as well. So I just got the English ones, and I'm excited to read them. I love the TV series. Even though Henry Cavill won't be in the 4th season now, I don't care. I will watch it anyway. And yeah, the books are supposed to be even better, so maybe I will enjoy them as well. Who knows? This is what all of the covers look like. They are not illustrated as the short story collections, unfortunately, but yeah, they are still the prettiest editions of all the English ones. I like the new German paperbacks as well. They are very pretty indeed, but I think the English ones are even better. That's what Baptism of Fire looks like. Could be one of my favorite covers. And the Tower of the Swallow as well. Could be, again, one of my favorite covers from the series. Actually, I like most of them, just the neon pink one isn't my favorite, but all the others are stunning. And last but not least, Time of Contempt, with, I suppose, Jennifer on there. Loved her from the TV series on Netflix. I think many people do not like her. I do. And yeah, I also don't know the video games, never played them. Not really interested in them because I don't like extensive fighting in video games. Not a fan of that. And yeah, maybe I'll watch it if I really am missing this world. So yeah, these are all of the books that I got in May. Now I somehow have to find a place to put them. But yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Happy reading. Bye!